Hi, I'm Marty Nimco. This is another of my short stories. This one is called What to Do with $1 Trillion. I never cared much about buying stuff, but I always liked the idea of making money. When I was just 12, I asked my dad if he needed someone to work in his office. He said no, but a friend of his who owned a fruit stand hired me, in violation of child labor laws, to sell on Saturdays. Everyone thought it was cute. That was before computerized scale, so I had to figure out how much, say, 2.3 pounds of grapefruit at 49 cents a pound should cost. The boss was sure I needed a calculator, but I could do that sort of stuff in my head. It's easy, actually. You just, in this case, multiply 50, not 49. 50 times 2.3, which is $1.15, and then subtract a few cents. I always subtracted a few extra cents just to be safe, and to satisfy the customers that I wasn't ripping them off, that in fact they were getting a bit of a discount. I hated school, so I didn't go to college, but on my own I studied things I was interested in, mainly computer science and statistics. I learned by applying my learning to a practical situation, so when I heard about arbitraging, I wrote a program that could automatically buy dollars at the lowest price on a world exchange, when I could make a profit by selling that dollar at the same time on a different exchange. Of course, the amount I'd make on one trade was trivial, especially because, for starters, I only had $1,000 to trade, but each time it was a guaranteed win. My goal was to make $1 trillion in 10 years. I did it in 8.5. But I had no desire for a materialistic lifestyle. Materialism is a shackle. Indeed, when I saw my account pass the trillion mark, I decided to continue living in my cottage in an iffy area, drive my old Prius, and just keep a bit for emergencies or whatever, and give away a full trillion. But to what? The Gates Foundation is considered so good at giving away money that Warren Buffett has given it $4 billion, and when he dies, another $30 billion. But Gates has admitted that giving away money well is hard. And when I looked at the effects of the Gates Foundation's mammoth largesse, I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem as though he's getting sufficient bang for the zillion bucks. What other options did I have? I tried giving to individuals. I placed ads in major publications in which I ordered 1,000 to 10,000 to individuals that would use the money to ripple effect, to yield benefit beyond themselves. I got only a few requests. To give away my trillion that way, I'd have to live 1,000 years. Should I invest $1 trillion in companies that attract the best and brightest, like Alphabet or Amgen or Amazon? I decided no. Even my trillion wouldn't sufficiently increase the probability of their developing products that would increase gross flourishing product, my criterion for what matters most. Then I came up with a contrarian idea that I thought was pretty smart. I'd give the trillion to the federal government to balance its budget. After all, its deficit is an existential risk, and the federal government has so much power, and its mission is to help the public. I had only one requirement, that in future years they'd keep the budget balanced. They could spend only as much as what they take in taxes. But the feds refused, saying, we need the option to go into deficit when we feel we should. My reaction was that government often goes into massive deficit not for shoulds, but often for pork. I ended up deciding to give half the trillion to a well-run organization that's attempting to improve on the already worthy Planned Parenthood. I believe the world is best when people have babies only when they're wanted, and my $500 billion will go to expanding their services worldwide. I'm giving the other half to 3 research teams that are studying the biological basis of altruism. Only a small percentage of people are very altruistic, and a small percentage are downright evil. Most human characteristics are a blend of genes and environment, and if my $500 billion could help more people be altruistic, I believe my money would be well spent. Of course, the research would likely take a long time to bear fruit, but that's why it's worth my funding it. Traditional government and foundation funding expects results sooner, whereas I can afford to invest in what in the long term will make the biggest improvements in gross world flourishing. What am I going to do next? One of those research teams has asked me to try to develop an algorithm for determining which method of single-cell genomic analysis is the wisest for a given objective. I'm excited. And they're going to give me a middle-class salary so I don't have to dip into the small emergency fund I left myself. I'll never be a super happy guy. It's not in my DNA. But I believe I'm living a life well led, and that's good enough. Probably. In any event, that story is is called How to Give Away, What to Do with $1 Trillion. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.